Hey everybody, Tom Walters here, author of Discovering Joy and the founder of Etherbound. And tonight I want to talk about success. More importantly, the 4 keys to having success, both professionally and personally. And what success means. There's so many resources online that blaze a path of success and tell us how we achieve success. I've read them, a variety of them. There are way too many for me to read all at once. But I've extracted the 4 that I think are going to be the most pivotal to having you experiencing life in a successful way. Again, both professionally and personally. They're not easy to master, but if we spend time on them, like we do all our goals, we'll have that success right within our grasp. So let's start right off the bat with goals. You know, a lot of us have ideas of what we want our life to be. And those are dreams. They're not goals. Goals are actually put to paper, and that is an important part. Putting it right to paper, writing it right down, because dreams stay in our head. Goals make their way onto paper, make it to a plan, and then they're carried out. And those goals, successfully executed, are part 1 of our plan for success. Again, we don't have to have the most elaborate goals, but we do have to write them down. The physical process of taking it from our brain and writing it out on paper makes it quite, what's the word I'm looking for, solid, tangible. And it's not just out there, kind of gray. I'm like, oh, someday I want to do that, or someday I want to do this. Dreams stay in our head, goals go on paper. And the thing about that is, if we put that emphasis on our goals every day, we're going to feel alive. We're going to feel like we're accomplishing things. And that's part of that success, that part of being happy, and making sure that all our actions are geared towards that goal. And that's really important. So suppose your goal is to learn a language. If you get home from work and throw on the TV or surf the internet for an hour, that's not an action that's in aligned with your goals. That's wasting time. So that's not going to get our goals accomplished. Conversely, if we wake up an hour earlier, and instead of just going for a cup of coffee or hitting the snooze bar a couple times, if we have a book on our bedside table about learning that language, taking that hour right off at the start of the day before we get interrupted by emails and conversations and phone calls, that is an action that's in line with our goals. So everything we do either brings us closer to our goal or farther away. There's no neutral. So the next thing you know I'm a proponent of, and that's positive thinking. And we've talked about that in our last video. And it's not an easy task, especially people that have grown up with people around them that tell them the world is not a good place, that there's need to be afraid, need to worry. If we're thinking about positive thinking, that means we see a situation as an opportunity to grow. And that means every situation, quote, good or bad, we can extract the good from every situation. And when we do that, we focus on the positive, then we're focusing on creating a change, focusing on achievement and resolution, as opposed to negative thinking, which just has us worried, angst-ridden, and stressed. So positive thinking is going to get us to that path for success. Number 3 goes along with that as well, defeating fear. If we think about our goals and where we want to be, we need to squash fear. And it's really important to note that courageous people aren't people that are void of fear. They see it, but they just push right through. Fear doesn't need to paralyze us, and that's exactly what it does. You know, I did a study online, or a survey online, asking people if they were happy with their current jobs. And 80% of them said that they weren't. And one of the reasons people stay in a position that they're not happy with is fear. Fear paralyzes us, like I said. So it tells us, well, don't venture out there because, you know, the economy's not that good. You know, be lucky you have a job, you're making money. If you try doing something different, you might fail. And you might be homeless, without money, bills, all that. And that negative spiral just sends us right down. So we got to ditch that fear. We got to look it in the eye and again just push right through. So obliterate fear, that's another one of those three of the four key elements to have us successful. And I'm going to reiterate again that these aren't things that are going to be done in a night or in a week. For some people, they are serious challenges. But anything worthwhile is serious and is a challenge. And talking about fear, fear says stay in your comfort zone. Don't venture out into any place that you don't know, because that's where failure lives. That's where danger and worry live. That's not real. That's not real at all. So conquering fear is going to free us up to make moves in a positive way, to follow our goals. And the last point, the last key to success is self-confidence. And again, that's one that a lot of people struggle with. But how do we tackle that? Well, let's talk about self-confidence as how it relates to success. You know, we talked about how we can extract the positive from any situation. But there are times where situations aren't optimal. And in fact, when we go for our goals, we might fail. In fact, most successful people, I would say, you know what, I'll go for it. All successful people did not start out successful. They met with failure after failure after failure. And they kept pushing through, just like they said. They eliminated fear. But one of the things that helped them push through is confidence in their abilities, confidence in their message, and confidence in their ability to make a change. So when we're confident, whatever comes our way, we know we can handle. So if failure or an accident or anything comes our way, if we are resolute in our intelligence, in our ability to solve a problem, in our strength, in our determination, in our passion, there's nothing that's going to derail us. Nothing at all. Anything that comes our way, we can handle. So I'm going to bring this back real quick, thinking about the things that are going to help us be successful. Having written goals, not in our head, written goals on paper, and every day making inroads, small inroads into those goals, and keeping track of them. The other thing, making sure our thinking is positive, upbeat, so we focus on resolution and achievement and not worry, stress, or angst. Number 3, defeating fear, crippling, paralyzing, procrastinating fear. That's exactly what it was. The best acronym I've heard for fear is false evidence appearing real. Just think about it. Pretty awesome. Last but not least, self-confidence. Building self-confidence will help you feel able to tackle any situation that comes your way. How do you create self-confidence? It's not an easy thing. Again, people have struggled with that for months, sometimes even their lives. But how do we do anything? Anything that you're proficient at right now, you weren't always proficient at. You either had a desire and learned and mastered that task. In fact, we'll stop right there because that's exactly what it is. If we want to be self-confident, we just see something, learn it, master it, and you're like, huh, cool. That's something I know that I didn't know before. Use all your resources and just have those little buckets of success, and that leads to self-confidence. So, goals, positive thinking, obliterating fear, and self-confidence. 4 keys that will get you right on that road to success, happiness, and joy. And as you know, whatever you do, do it with joy. This is Tom Walters, signing off.